Natasha, and thank you so much for joining me today. Well, I saw these when I was putting in a recent order, and I haven't really used these much. I haven't used the Stamperia products too much, but I spotted this one and thought, wow, how gorgeous this looked. And so I thought I would pick up 3 of the products and just give them a go and see what I thought of them, see how they felt, and see what I could create from them. Now, I wanted to go down a bit of a different track than my usual card making. We are still card making today. Of course, these would be great for journal layouts or for scrapbooking or mixed media, and I might give those a go too. But look at these tags here. These are gorgeous tags, but they're also double-sided so that when you cut them out, they have both sides of the tag already. So I do love things like that. Lots of the little letters and envelopes, they're all double-sided on both sides of the page here. There are also some kind of ready-made layouts, and I'll show you in a little bit what I mean by that. But also, this is the back cover, and look at all of those gorgeous elements that you could use there. They are on the back and the front cover. Now, I also picked up these die cuts. So this whole set is from the Roseland collection. So these are, I would say chipboard, but I cut a few of them during today's card making session, and they are very easy to cut and to change. So they are a decent thickness of chipboard, but I'm definitely able to cut these really easily with just my fussy cutting scissors. So that kind of helped a lot too. Now, of course, there are going to be some similar features, and that's the reason that we got the 3 that are all from the same release. They are all from the same collection, and so they're all obviously going to coordinate and work together. There are going to be some similarities, some things that are double ups because I purchased the die cuts and the ephemera. And I was happy with that because if you have more multiples of the same thing, it means you can often do patterns or repeating patterns or something like that. Now, these are not identical. This one here, the wagon wheel, the large one has a floral element to it, but there are definitely more windows and things. In this one, there are still 2 size chairs. So these here they all have this kind of gold shine to them, a gold shimmer, I guess. So anyhow, really looking forward to using these today. I'm going to pull out a few pages that I would like to use. Now this is an 8 by 8 inch paper pad, and all of the sheets obviously are double-sided, and there are elements on the front cover and the back cover that you are able to use in your card making or whatever paper crafting you are doing as well. But this was a pretty good price. This was $5 something. And then I got, I think, 15% off that on scrapbook.com. They were having a sale. They're having lots of good sales at the moment. And so it just means that little bit extra, and it was well worth it. So I would definitely buy one of these paper pads again. I might go and find, when they release a new collection, I might get some more. But as you'll see today, I definitely didn't use up even half of the elements or anything. And I was just having a really lovely time. So anyhow, I'm going to make this into an envelope. I want to make it into a functioning envelope because obviously before it was just a flat object, a piece of paper. But I want to make this into a functioning envelope. So I do cut away the top flap, and then I'm going to adhere it onto just using the edges, of course, because I want something to be able to go in there if need be. I'm going to just add adhesive around the edges like you saw, and then add the top flap back on once we have a folding piece at the back. So now this is a fully functioning little envelope that actually works instead of just being a flat piece of paper. So I like that element. I like sort of interactive elements. Now, as I said, these cards are going to be a little bit different because they're just sort of beautiful elements on the front of a page. I'm not necessarily looking for sentiments to finish these off or to be a particular card style. I'm looking for these to be really just gorgeous, beautiful, elegant cards for any occasion. So there you see I have taken some of it's almost like a wood grain pattern. I did some rips and things, and I added some vintage photo distress oxide ink around the edges. Then I stuck down my little envelope there on the front. I have some of these pieces, so the die cuts are not adhesive backed, so I'm just going to add some Ranger Multi-Medium in the matte finish to adhere those on, but the ephemera are adhesive backed, so you absolutely can just peel off, and they are very, very sticky. But I like that. That's great, and so we can work with that. But yeah, the die cuts need you to add glue of some sort. Right, we're moving on to the next one already. The first one went by in a flash. I did go through this pretty quick when I was editing it, just to make it a nice and quick video. That's how I kind of like my videos, not to be too drawn out. I don't like too much chatter and waffle. We just like to get on with the card making. This time I decided to use some hickory smoke around the edges, just because I wasn't sure if I liked the sort of smoky grey or the brown. I do the smoky grey to begin with. I'm going to come back to the brown. Now, I'm using this gorgeous chipboard wagon wheel here from the die cuts. And then I have a little With Love plaque that I'm going to eventually add on. Now, this is where I was saying I just think it's a little bit too big for what I need. And I'm just going to cut off a little bit of extras. I cut off some along the bottom eventually as well. And then just re-round those corners with my scissors. And it looks fabulous still. Then all I'm going to do is take advantage of the fact that there are heaps and heaps of florals and pine cones and roses and all lovely things that I will pop to the corner of this wagon wheel and make a little sort of cluster. Some of them are, because the wagon wheel is a die cut, it is actually well and truly popped up. It's quite thick, and so I will add a little bit of foam tape on some of the pieces that will hang over the edge there, just so that everything is nice and even on the page. I quite like that look of it being popped up. I think that adds to it as well. Then I would take this little plaque and just sort of tuck it right in there underneath everything with plenty of glue on the back so it's not going anywhere. Here I come back in with the brown. I just think I like the brown a little bit better. It actually does go fine with the elements as well. So I will stick with brown from pretty much here on out. And it's so good because you can be just not even perfect. You do not have to be remotely perfect for all of this. Now, I pop these onto some plain white card bases. Then for this one, I'm going to add some gloss spray. This is from Dina Wakley, and I just give it a good shake up, and then it's hard to see them here, honestly. The shine takes over a little bit, but gorgeous little white dots look absolutely stunning. Now we're moving on to our third one already, and I love this hanging, I don't know if it's a hanging basket or a lantern or what it's meant to be, but I like it. So I want to make it a bit of a feature. This was on one of the scraps that I had cut out before. I'm taking one of these gorgeous little chairs. I really love this. This is one of the Ephemera ones that has the adhesive back to it. And then I'm just going to sort of squeeze it in the corner there. Again, not ideal placement for that hanging basket to be right in the center, but I was working with a scrap of paper and I think it works out okay in the end. And then from here, it's really a matter of playing with different florals, different elements. I want to have a big build-up of florals in the corner, so I was just deciding whether I wanted that there. I do want this little birdie up here, so I popped him up on some foam tape and popped him up there because I really like the look of it. Now, all of these little hanging baskets, they are in both of the die cuts and the ephemera pack, and so I chose the one of them to pop, just sort of cut off and pop up just the hanging element. That little bit of sort of 3D look I really like. Build up a bit of a floral element here on the side, and I just really lightly put these down. When I peel off the adhesive from the back, I just sit them there, and that way I can adjust and put things underneath and all those good things. Then I pop a little butterfly up because you can't resist, and then go onto a nice stark white card base. And I think that just makes a lot of these when you pop them down onto that card base. I cut them down to be either, the card fronts to be either 4 by 5 1/4 or 3 3/4 by 5, so that it gives it that crisp white frame, and I think that really looks nice. So that is our third one, and we're moving on to the next one already. This is very shimmery and gold and beautiful when you turn this in the light. I really, really enjoyed this time so very much. I ended up running out of time actually, but I'm going to share a few more ideas at the end of other cards that you could make as well. Now this one here, I wanted to do sort of a pocket style. This is a little bit, reminds me of a little bit journaling a little bit. So I just fold over a piece of cardstock, and then I'm creating this little pocket, cut off a little bit of the front. I want a little bit more off there as well though, so I'm just going to go in a little bit sharper angle, and then I'm going to use one of the pieces, the scrap that I cut off from here. Then I'm just going to cut, actually part of that part that I cut off from the bottom of this page, I'm going to cut away some of that, just the words, and I'm going to create a border, a decorative border. to go along the edge of this, and I will pop it up on some of the scrapbook.com 1mm foam tape. I purchased this, I don't know, a few months ago maybe, and it's quite cool for just a tiny little bit of lift without having that full sort of foam tape effect. So it's just 1mm that you're popping it up on, so it's just a little bit, but if you want more you can always double it up, I guess, as well, or use different foam tape. But that's what I'm going to use for the front of this little piece here. I am going to run some vintage photos, some brown ink over all of these edges, and I love that you don't have to be too careful at all. I'm just whipping some ink around there. There is my foam tape gone on, and I'm going to use that across this little edging piece here just to separate it off a little bit more. I'm going to cut off the excess, and then I do want to put a couple of decorations on here, but actually I want to make this a bit smaller to fit nicely in my card front, so I just keep cutting. I don't measure. I don't love measuring things at all, and so I just cut until it looks like it fits nice and even. Again, we are making this into a almost journal style. I know I'm going to be giving this card away, and so I have a few ideas. I'm actually going to pop a couple of little photos and things on these pieces here to go on the front, and then there will be one on the front image all together on the front of this, but that will be personal little things that I will add later on. Just some little memories between that person and I. But anyhow, so just letting you know the direction that I'm sort of heading in with this one, because I guess it looks like a little bit perhaps of a weird card front. I'm not sure. Have you made these kinds of style of cards before? Let me know in the comment section down below. I am really loving and enjoying, more so as I get into card making, the cards that don't necessarily need a sentiment to direct them. And I also have a video coming out about reusable cards as well, totally recyclable reusable cards that you can use again, and I like the idea of that, and so I have been leaning towards that more and more when giving away my own cards and creating my own cards. So anyhow, usually I'm a big fan of things going completely straight on cards, but I went a little bit wild for me with this one, and I went on an angle, so I was happy with that. As I said, there's actually going to be a photo that's going to go over the front of this one, as well as little memories and photos and Polaroids that are going to go on each one of those little scraps that I've tucked in there. So this one was made for a purpose. Okay, my plan was to do lots and lots of cards for this video. However, I have completely run out of time. But here's what I was thinking. Even this part here, those 3 stunning little picture frames, if they don't fit on the size card that you make, you could cut them out and use part of a background and pop them up again in a similar fashion. You could also use that chair there as one. Then these 2 are die cuts that I have, even just that right there with that little piece of floral. These are just scraps from my other pieces that I've cut off, and then you would have it cut obviously up there where that paper is, and that would be a beautiful card front. I mean, the ideas are truly endless. I love this collection, and I have thoroughly enjoyed playing with it. I still have, I don't know, way more than half of my elements here. These are what's left of the die cuts. There are tons. This is what's left of the ephemera. Again, there are tons. I also have heaps of the paper pad. I mean, I didn't even use half. There are lots and lots of pieces. The paper pad itself is still full here. These tags I want to use, I can't wait to use, and the little postcards. So I've still got lots and lots of full sheets, as you can see there, to create a lot more cards. So I'm excited for that. Anyhow, here are the cards that we have created today. This one here might be my favorite, I'm not sure. Now, if you were inspired by any of these ideas, please come and join our Facebook group, or feel free to post your photos, your creations that you've made that were inspired by these videos. I would love to see them. That way I can talk and chat. You can ask me questions and tag me in things. So that's a nice, easy way to do it. It's called Come Crafting with Natasha. Of course, I will put links to all of these elements down below. As far as I'm aware, when I'm posting this, everything is still available, although they do sell out quick, I've noticed. So I will post links down below, but other than that, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks, bye!